Married people of Reddit, what's one thing you didn't learn about your spouse until after your wedding day? That she sneezes, like she trying to scare the crap out of you. Scream sneeze. I'm still not used to it now. 10 years later. It's loud as hell. Our poor daughter gets scared and says, "Mommy, you're too loud." But in public she can hold it back. She liked to poop with the door open. Man. My wife is the opposite. I will be sitting down for less time than it takes to get the seat to stop feeling cold, and she'll just walk in and start brushing her teeth like I'm invisible. I'm like, "What the F, you used to knock?" And she'll speak through frothy mouthed toothpaste. Fat wapth before vive married, then spit out her toothpaste and leave the door open when she leaves. Edit. LOL. Thanks silver and gold strangers. My most upvoted comment ever is about not being able to shit in peace. It's a power move, bro. She's the alpha. It's her bathroom and you're just pooping in it. A friend of mine eventually told his now wife that he didn't actually know French. He had been teaching her gibberish phrases. "My name is Claude. Je du pli plou." He absolutely cannot be trusted with desserts in the house. Back when we were engaged, he'd give me time to eat my half of the ice cream or Oreo package, or whatever we had on hand. Now, I'm sitting here eating Thin Mints from a stash from under frozen veggies in our outside freezer. My wife cannot read an analog watch/clock for time. Married 4 years, been together 7 years total, and somehow that came up only a month ago when I asked for the time off a watch during a power outage. I don't give her a hard time about it, but that was a fun fact to learn. My husband and I dated for 3 years before we got married. After more than a year of marriage, he let slip that he is lactose intolerant. He knew that I absolutely love ice cream and we would frequently get ice cream on our dates. But he never wanted me to know about the lactose intolerance so that I could be happy with my ice cream. That I'm solely responsible for her dreams, and I don't mean the want to have kids one day kind. Have those. I mean the type where she wakes me at 3 AM and begins the conversation with, "You wouldn't let me have the effing window seat," because apparently in her dream I wouldn't swap seats with her on the plane. She was mad at me for at least a week. This sort of thing has happened a few times. She's always leaving the lids on everything unscrewed, and guess who is always breaking jars? Because he always picks everything up using the lid. I thought I was alone in the world, until now. My wife does this too. Neither of us knows why. She just does. His addiction to cars. I never knew how much he really enjoyed until after we got married. Also his obsessions with speed and how he wants his cars to go faster and faster. My mom found out my dad was a compulsive liar when his twin sister didn't show up to their wedding. When questioned about it, he said she must have imagined the dozens of stories he had told about his twin sister. He is an only child. My sister married a guy like that. In the first 6 months after the wedding, we've found out he had lied about 1. His previous job. He wasn't a history professor apparently. 2. His house back at his country and the fact that it was damaged by a hurricane. He didn't even own a house. 3. His previous marriage, unfaithful ex-wife and him having kids. He was married, but only for a couple of years and those kids were not his. She kicked him out. 4. His mom being dead, a really what the F moment for us and her. 5. His other relatives like cousins, etc. treating him badly. We couldn't figure out why nobody in his family wanted to help or even come for a wedding. Turns out he's a pathological liar hated by everyone. Needless to say, they are separated now. How insane his mother is. He was clear that they had a difficult relationship when he was growing up, and that he is really close with his dad because of her behavior. Since we've been married, she's been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, and her health professionals say it's likely she has genetic degenerative neurology, Huntington's. That he can't put shit back where it goes, ever, and oh yeah, he shot a guy once. That probably makes you apprehensive to call him out about things, like putting shit back where it goes, for instance. My husband completely undresses from the waist down to go number 2. He says he needs the freedom. I discovered my wife is a hoarder and doesn't want to throw anything away. She's gotten better over the years, but it's still an issue. Hoarding has roots in anxiety. When my husband cleans I get anxious. I used to almost panic when he would take out the trash for fear something we needed, like a bill or something, was in there. When I clean I'm fine and can easily throw things away, but I definitely can see where it can start to develop if you let it. Not me, but my mom found out decades later my dad was married when he married her, so yeah, my dad's a bigamist. So was my great grandpa. Ancestry.com found us some serious dirt in our family line. Oh, and there was a shotgun wedding. Dude and chick got married. Her dad was the judge that signed the certificate, and she had a kid 6 months later. He likes to eat fish. Somehow in our 6 years of dating, I got it into my head that he didn't like to eat seafood. My parents would cook dinner and invite him, and I'd constantly tell my mom, no, can you make something else? He doesn't eat fish. My husband loves most seafood, with the singular, random exception of coconut shrimp. We joke about that to this day, that I unintentionally kept him from some of his favorite foods without so much as a conversation about it. That's a light-hearted answer. I'm sure there are many more. 11 years in, and we are still learning things about one another. She is a bit of a genius when it comes to finances. No complaints. My wife is as well. If it were up to me, I would have lots of cool shit, but no power, because I'd be broke. She saves me from me. He dunks his Oreos in water instead of milk. I still don't know why. Edit. Wow, I didn't expect so many people to have opinions about Oreos. I'm glad I'm not the only one who is horrified by this. Thanks for the silver. To answer a few questions, no, he is not lactose intolerant, and no, he wasn't poor growing up. He's not a vegan. And we had milk in the house when I caught him doing this. He just prefers to dunk his Oreos in water. She leaves a few seconds on the microwave. There's only so many times a guy can ask her to press the clear button. It's even the same as the stop button. Just press it twice. I wouldn't be surprised if she tortured animals as child. She's a savage. She procrastinates cleaning until the task becomes unnecessarily difficult, which means she takes forever to clean, which means she hates cleaning, which makes her procrastinate. She also talks in her sleep, and that can be pretty funny sometimes. If my pants have 2 holes in them, why are 3 parts of me tired? Edit. Yay. Gold. And silver. She farts. She had always farted around me. No big deal. Usually she kept it to little toots. Unless she was sick or drunk, then it would be loud like mine. I don't mind its nature. But holy F, she unleashed an ass trumpet that would put college marching bands to shame. She can be across the house and I can hear her ass. My wife sounds like an 18-wheeler engine breaking down a mountain road. My petite little Jake break. She makes PB&J sandwiches by mixing the PB&J in a separate bowl before spreading it on the bread. Pure savagery. Thanks for the silver, stranger. My wife informed me that she could not have children after we got married. This made me sad. Being able to prove her wrong made me happy. I'm glad it sounds like this story has a happy ending, but it is super fucked up that your wife didn't tell you that till after the wedding. Contrary to what my ex-wife said when we were dating, I learned she believed that sex was just for making kids. Sorry, Barry. We were both on the same page in a newspaper. It was found a couple years after we were married. Was it the local arrests section?